Introduction: the wake-up call you've been waiting for. This is not just a book. This is your moment, your turning point, your wake-up call. Close your eyes for a second and take a deep breath. Now, picture this. You wake up every morning with energy and purpose. Money flows into your life through multiple sources. You're free from stress, from debt, from fear. You travel where you want, support who you love, live with full confidence in your power to create abundance. It's not a fantasy, it's not a luxury for the chosen few. It's a reality that starts the moment you choose to change. Welcome to Do This and Watch Money Flood in Your Life. Not just another motivational read. This is your blueprint for becoming magnetic to money, freedom, and unstoppable success. Let me be clear, you were never meant to live in survival mode. You were not born to stay stuck in scarcity, in fear, or in someone else's script. You were made for impact, abundance, and joy. But if you're like most people, you've been taught to chase money the hard way. To work more hours, hustle until burnout, sacrifice joy in the name of survival, and after all that effort, you still feel like something's missing. Here's why: money doesn't come from hustle alone, it comes from alignment. This book is your shift. Each chapter is a key, a strategy, a story, a spark, designed to reprogram your beliefs, rewire your habits, and reawaken your earning power. We're going to dive into powerful truths most people never hear. We'll uncover the hidden money blocks running your life in silence. We'll break the cycle of just enough. We'll reintroduce you to the version of you that's not just surviving, but thriving. Throughout this journey, you'll learn how to build an identity that attracts wealth effortlessly, how to break through fear and take bold action, how to serve with purpose and earn with joy, how to develop millionaire-level habits starting today. And the best part, these shifts aren't for the elite. They're for you, right now, exactly as you are. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need more degrees. You don't need to wait for the right time. You just need to start. Start listening. Start believing. Start applying the principles that have already transformed thousands of lives. This is not a book to skim through and forget. It's a fire starter. It's a battle cry. It's your reminder that you are not behind. You are not too late. You are just getting started. So I invite you to go all in. Open your heart. Take notes. Feel the emotions. Let yourself get angry, excited, inspired, because those feelings are fuel, and you're going to need them for what comes next. Let's break the chains of scarcity. Let's rewrite the story you tell yourself about money, success, and your worth. Let's build wealth not just in your bank account, but in your mindset, your spirit, and your relationships. This is your time. Are you ready? Then take a deep breath, turn the page, or press play, and let's begin Chapter 1, because once you do this, you'll watch money flood into your life. Chapter 1. The Wealth Switch. It starts with your mind. Your bank account is not a reflection of your job. It's a reflection of your mindset. Let me ask you something simple. Have you ever looked at someone wealthy and thought, what do they have that I don't? Maybe you've said to yourself, I work just as hard. I'm just as smart. Why does money seem to flood into their life while I'm stuck struggling? The answer, my friend, is not luck. It's not just privilege or talent. It's something deeper, something internal. It's their mindset. In this first chapter, we flip the switch. The truth is this: wealth doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your mind. If you want money to flood into your life, abundantly, powerfully, and consistently, you must first break the dam inside your thinking, because the biggest barrier between you and wealth is you. Let me tell you about a man named Jacob. Jacob was raised in a low-income neighborhood, surrounded by scarcity. His parents always said things like, money doesn't grow on trees, or rich people are greedy, or we can't afford that. These phrases may sound familiar. They're passed down from generation to generation like family heirlooms, except they're not treasures. They're traps. Jacob grew up believing money was hard to get, that success came with sacrifice, and that being poor was somehow more noble than being rich. So guess what happened when he became an adult? He worked hard, so hard, 2 jobs, late nights, and yet, no matter how much money he made, it vanished, bills, debt, emergencies, the money would come, and then disappear like smoke in the wind. Sound familiar? Then one day, Jacob heard a speaker at a seminar say something that changed his life. If you don't believe you're worthy of wealth, you'll find a way to sabotage it every single time. Boom. That was the moment, the light bulb, the switch. You see, your external reality always mirrors your internal beliefs. If you believe money is evil, you'll push it away. If you believe you're not smart enough, or not lucky enough, or not deserving enough, you'll subconsciously sabotage every opportunity that comes your way. That's why affirmations aren't just feel-good quotes, they're weapons. They're tools to reprogram the script in your subconscious mind, because that's where 95% of your decisions are made. Right now, you might be thinking, okay, but how do I change my mindset? Good, you're asking the right question. The first step is awareness. Start listening to the language you use around money. How do you talk about it? Do you say things like, I can't afford it? I'll never be rich. People like me don't get wealthy. Every time you say those words, you are giving your brain instructions. You are wiring your reality. You are programming poverty. Instead, replace those phrases with powerful commands. Money flows to me with ease and purpose. I am open to receiving massive abundance. Wealth is my birthright and I claim it. This isn't woo-woo. This is neuroscience. This is how beliefs are formed and reinforced. Your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your results. Let me tell you another quick story. There was a young woman named Priya. She was a graphic designer, insanely talented, but constantly undercharging her clients. She felt guilty asking for more. She thought she was being nice by keeping her rates low. One day, her mentor told her, "You're not being nice, you're being self-destructive. The world pays you what you believe you're worth." Priya started charging what she deserved. She stopped apologizing for her prices. Within 6 months, her income tripled, not because her skills changed, but because her self-worth did. And that's the core of this chapter. You must believe you are worthy of wealth before you will ever attract it. So let's flip that internal switch right here, right now. Say it out loud with me. I am worthy of abundance. I am capable of wealth. I am open to money flowing into my life. Say it again. I am not afraid of success. I am not afraid of money. I welcome it. You've got to feel it. Don't just say the words. Live them. Let them burn away the fear, the guilt, the shame, the scarcity that's been holding you back. We're not just talking about thinking rich, we're talking about being rich in your soul first. Because money is an amplifier. It makes you more of who you already are. If you're generous, money makes you a philanthropist. If you're a creator, money makes you a builder. If you're a dreamer, money makes your dreams possible. But it all starts here, in the mind, so I challenge you, for the next 24 hours, speak only words of abundance. Refuse to speak lack. Correct anyone around you who speaks scarcity. Set the tone, set the energy. This chapter is your foundation. This is where the flood begins. The wealth switch is no longer hidden. It's in your hands now. Flip it. Chapter 2. Break the chains destroying limiting beliefs. Your belief system is your operating system. If it's corrupted, no matter how powerful the hardware is, nothing will run smoothly. You were not born with limits. You were born with possibility, but somewhere along the way, someone gave you a script. They handed you invisible chains and called it realism. They said things like, money is the root of all evil, or people like us don't get rich. Or maybe it was more subtle, that's too risky, play it safe. And you listened, you internalized it, you made their fear your truth. In this chapter, we break that cycle. Because as long as you're living under the weight of limiting beliefs, you will unconsciously sabotage every opportunity for wealth that comes your way. Let me introduce you to Anita. Anita was brilliant. She had a gift for numbers, a deep compassion for people, and a dream of opening a financial coaching business for single mothers. But for years, she stayed stuck in a job she hated, underpaid, and overworked. Why? Because deep down, Anita believed one thing. If I go all in on my dream and fail, I'll disappoint everyone. She believed her worth was tied to security, She believed success was selfish, and so she stayed small, not because she lacked talent, but because she was afraid to be seen. That's what limiting beliefs do. They don't just hold you back. They shrink you. They make you play safe, stay hidden, settle for less. And worst of all, you think it's your choice, but it's not. It's programming. Most of our beliefs about money were planted in our minds before we turned 7. We absorbed them from parents, teachers, culture, religion, sometimes even from people who meant well. They didn't know they were passing down fear. But they were, and now, if we don't unlearn them, we pass them on to our kids, to our partners, to our future, but not anymore. Today, we break the chains. Let's expose some of the most dangerous limiting beliefs about wealth and replace them one by one. Money is evil. No, money is neutral. Money is a tool. A hammer can build a home or destroy a wall. The difference, the hand that wields it. If you're a good person, money simply gives you more power to do good. I'm not smart enough to be rich. Wrong. Wealth isn't reserved for geniuses. Look around. Some of the wealthiest people in the world dropped out of school. Success comes not from intelligence, but from belief plus action plus persistence. I must work hard to deserve money. Effort matters, yes, but struggle is not a requirement. Wealth flows to those who solve problems, not just those who sweat. The world doesn't pay you for effort. It pays you for value. If I become wealthy, people will judge me. Yes, some might, and let them. You cannot live your life trying to keep others comfortable while you stay small. The right people will be inspired. The wrong people were never your people. Now let's go deeper. Here's a truth most people never hear. You do not get what you want. You get what you believe you are. You can say, I want to be rich. But if your internal voice says, I'm not good with money, or I always mess things up, that inner script will win every time. You cannot override a belief with willpower alone. You have to reprogram it. How? First, become the detective of your own mind. Every time you feel resistance toward money, success, risk, or growth, pause and ask, what do I believe right now? Then challenge that belief. Ask, is this 100% true? Or is this a story I've inherited? Replace that belief with something empowering, something that serves your future, not your fear. For Anita, the moment of breakthrough came when her coach said to her, what if you didn't fail? What if your fear is actually a compass? That question shook her. She realized she wasn't afraid of failure. She was afraid of her own potential. She was afraid to shine. But what she finally understood was this: playing small doesn't protect you. It only prevents you. She launched her coaching business 6 months later. It wasn't perfect. She made mistakes, but she made money, and more importantly, she made impact, and that lit a fire that no old belief could put out again. Let me say it again for you. Your current beliefs are not facts. They are choices, and guess what? Choices can be changed. You are not your past. You are not your programming. You are not the voice of that teacher who told you weren't cut out for more. You are the author now, so here's your assignment for today. Write down every negative belief you have about money. Just let it pour out. Then next to each one, write the opposite, a belief that empowers you. Turn I don't deserve wealth into I was born for abundance. Turn there's never enough into there is more than enough for me. This is how the chains begin to break, thought by thought, word by word. Choice by choice. You're not just changing your money. You're changing your mind, and once the mind shifts, everything else follows. So the question now is, what are you willing to believe instead? Chapter 3. Money loves purpose. Find your why. Money follows clarity. Purpose is the magnet. Wealth is the result. Let me be blunt. If you're chasing money just for the sake of having more of it, you're going to burn out. Fast money without meaning is empty. It slips through your fingers. It never feels like enough. But when your desire for wealth is backed by purpose, when it's connected to something bigger than you, that's when the floodgates open. Because here's a truth no one told you growing up. Money chases purpose, not people, not ego, not greed. Purpose, think about it. The most iconic businesses, the most legendary entrepreneurs, the most admired leaders, they weren't just trying to get rich. They were solving real problems. They had a mission, a reason, a why that pulled them out of bed every morning like a magnetic force. Let me tell you about Daniel. Daniel was a fitness trainer who started his career helping people lose weight. He was good, but he felt stuck. He'd charge by the hour, train clients, and repeat. Money came in, but it wasn't flowing. He felt exhausted, underpaid, and honestly uninspired. Then one day, a client broke down in tears after a session. She said, "You didn't just help me lose weight. You helped me believe I was worth fighting for." Boom! That moment flipped a switch. Daniel realized he wasn't just a trainer. He was a life changer. His deeper purpose wasn't fitness. It was freedom. Helping people reclaim their power. That realization transformed everything. He shifted his messaging, created a brand around self, worth, and empowerment, built programs with emotional depth, and guess what? His income exploded, his audience grew. People didn't just pay for workouts, they paid for transformation because Daniel wasn't selling time anymore. He was selling purpose. You have that same power, but first you have to find your why. Let me ask you, why do you want more money? Is it to buy freedom, to retire your parents, to prove something to yourself, to start a foundation, to travel the world, to build schools, to impact lives? Get specific, get personal, get real. When your reason is strong enough, you become unstoppable. Obstacles shrink. Motivation becomes internal. You stop waiting for the weekend. You stop needing to be in the mood. Purpose becomes your fuel. And here's the beautiful part. When you align with purpose, people feel it. Your energy changes. Your decisions sharpen. You stop chasing. And you start attracting. Let me give you a personal example. A woman named Kiana ran a small handmade jewelry business. Sales were slow. She almost quit. Until one day, she was talking with her grandmother, who shared stories about the women in their village who used beadwork as a form of storytelling, preserving culture and emotion through design. That story lit something in Kiana. She realized her jewelry wasn't just decoration, it was expression. So she rebranded her business around storytelling through design, connecting women to their heritage, their emotions, and their strength. Guess what happened? Her business caught fire. She started getting featured in magazines. People were moved by her story, and they wanted to be part of it. Why? Because people don't buy products, they buy purpose. That's why you need to dig deeper. Don't just say, "I want to make more money." Ask yourself, who will benefit from my success? What will I create, change, or give once I have wealth? What impact do I want to leave behind? Your purpose is your wealth blueprint. Without it, you're building a house with no foundation. And here's the kicker. Your purpose doesn't have to be grand at first. It just has to be authentic. Maybe your why is to break generational poverty in your family. Maybe it's to prove to your younger self that you can. Maybe it's to show your children what's possible. That's powerful enough. Because when money becomes a servant to purpose, not a master to fear, you become dangerous. In the best possible way, you stop playing small, you stop apologizing, you start creating things that matter. So here's your mission today. Take a journal. At the top, write, "Why do I want to be wealthy?" Now write down your answers. Don't stop at surface level stuff. Dig, peel back the layers. When you hit an answer that makes you tear up, or gets you angry, or makes your heart race, you found it. That's your why. Write it, print it. Say it every morning, because when your why is crystal clear, the house starts to show up. You begin to notice opportunities. You become magnetic, resourceful, relentless. You are no longer a person begging for money. You are a person building a mission. And let me tell you something from experience. Money loves that energy. It doesn't just trickle into your life, it floods in. Because money wants to serve something powerful, something purposeful, something bigger than just a paycheck. So stop chasing the bag, start chasing your purpose, and watch how money starts chasing you. Chapter 4. Value first. The hidden law of wealth. Money doesn't follow effort. It follows value. The more value you give, the more wealth you attract. Let's strip this down to truth. No one is paid just for working hard. People are paid for the value they bring to the world. You can grind 18 hours a day at a job that barely pays the bills, and someone else can work 4 hours a day and make more in a week than you do all year. That's not unfair. That's the economy rewarding something we often overlook: value. Value is the hidden currency of the wealthy. It's the secret ingredient behind success stories, viral brands, thriving businesses, and booming careers. Once you understand this, you stop asking, "How can I make more money?" and start asking the question that truly matters: how can I create more value? Let me tell you about Sam. Sam was a freelance video editor. Talented, reliable, but struggling. He charged hourly. He waited for clients. He was constantly chasing work. One day, a mentor told him, "You're not in the editing business, you're in the storytelling business. Make your clients more valuable and your value will explode." So Sam shifted his mindset. He stopped charging just for his time. He studied marketing, learned storytelling psychology, and started advising clients on how to craft emotional brand videos. His edits didn't just look good, they converted. Clients began reporting higher engagement, better sales, more leads. They saw results, and they paid for it. Sam tripled his income in under 6 months, not because he worked harder, but because he became more valuable. That's the lesson. You don't get paid for your time. You get paid for the difference you make, and this applies to everything. Whether you're a student, a CEO, a creator, or an employee, value is the universal language of wealth. When you become a problem solver, a builder, a difference maker, money starts to move toward you. But what exactly is value? Value is anything that improves someone's life. It's solving a problem, saving time, increasing income, reducing stress, sparking emotion, or bringing joy. Value isn't about what you think is valuable. It's about what they need. Let's say you're a baker. You don't just sell cookies. You sell joy, nostalgia, convenience. You solve the problem of last-minute gifts, comfort during hard days, and celebrations made special. Let's say you run a cleaning service. You're not just sweeping floors. You're giving people back their time. You're creating peace of mind, order, and pride in their space. Let's say you're a content creator. You're not just entertaining, you're educating, you're inspiring, you're moving people toward action. Once you grasp this, everything changes. You stop saying, "No one's paying me enough," and start asking, "Am I giving enough value for them to want to pay more?" The moment you focus on increasing your value instead of increasing your price, you become unstoppable. And here's the beauty of value: it multiplies. When you give more, people talk. Clients refer you. Customers come back. You build reputation, trust, loyalty, all things money loves. Let's look at real life again. Think about Amazon. Why are they a trillion-dollar empire? One reason: they made shopping insanely convenient. They solved one of the biggest pain points in the world: time, and people paid for it over and over. Or look at Apple. They didn't just build phones. They created status, simplicity, elegance, a sense of identity. That's value. That's why people line up to pay more. Now you might be thinking, "But I'm just one person. I'm not Amazon or Apple." Exactly, and that's your superpower as a solo entrepreneur, freelancer, student, or employee. You have agility. You can move fast. You can build deep relationships. You can care more, and that alone gives you a massive edge. So how do you become more valuable? Start here. Solve real problems. Listen, ask, study. What are people frustrated about? What do they complain about? What do they avoid? Find a way to fix it. And your value skyrockets. Invest in your skill set. Learn obsessively. The more you know, the more you can do, and the more you can charge. Don't be average in a crowded space. Be exceptional in a valuable one. Show up with excellence. Deliver more than expected. Make people say, "Wow, I didn't expect that." That's how value multiplies. That's how loyalty is born. Think beyond the transaction. Think about the transformation. Don't sell the thing. Sell what the thing does for someone. Sell the result. Here's a challenge. Write this on a sticky note and put it on your wall. How can I increase my value today? Ask it every morning. Then act on it. Send the extra email, learn the extra tool, serve the extra 10%. Make it a habit, because the world rewards value with one thing, money. You don't have to beg for it. You don't have to steal it. You don't have to chase it like a dog chasing a car. You just have to give more than you take. And when you do that consistently, money doesn't just come, it floods in, because money always flows where value grows. Chapter 5. The power of action. Execution beats intention. Your dreams don't need more vision boards. They need velocity. Stop planning. Start moving. Let's be honest. Most people don't fail because they don't know what to do. They fail because they don't do what they know. They have the knowledge. They've read the books, attended the webinars, watched the motivational videos. They're filled with big ideas, great intentions, and well-organized plans. But nothing changes. Why? Because information without execution is just entertainment. Let me make this crystal clear. Money does not respond to intentions. It responds to action. You can dream all day. Visualize, journal, meditate, and those things are powerful. They help you align your energy and beliefs. But without action, they're just warm-ups with no game. Think about a rocket. The most complex part of any rocket launch is ignition. That first push requires the most energy. Once it's in motion, the rest gets easier. Your goals are the same. Starting is the hardest part, but once you start, really start, the universe begins to rearrange around your movement. Let me tell you about Jason. Jason had a dream of starting a mobile car detailing business. He researched for months. He built spreadsheets, made logo drafts, compared vacuum models, watched YouTube videos, and read articles on marketing. But he never started. One day, his mentor said, "You've spent 6 months preparing to walk. Just take the damn step." That hit him hard. The next day, Jason borrowed a vacuum, printed business cards at home, and offered to clean cars in his neighborhood for free. Word got around. People started paying him. Within a year, he had a full-fledged business with 3 vans. Why? Because he moved. He stopped waiting for perfection and stepped into progress. Here's the truth. You will never feel 100% ready. You will never have all the answers, and yes, you might fail. But failure in motion is better than fear in stillness. Let that sink in. Some of the most successful people in history didn't know what they were doing when they started. They just started. They figured it out on the way. That's the power of action, because action is a magnet. It pulls opportunities toward you. People take notice. Doors start opening. The path becomes visible. Not before you begin, but because you begin. Let's take this further. Action builds confidence. You don't become confident and then act. You act, and then you become confident. You prove to yourself that you're capable, resilient, and resourceful. Every small win becomes a brick in the foundation of your belief. And with belief, you become unstoppable. So what stops us? Most of the time, it's not laziness. It's fear. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of wasting time or money. But here's what no one tells you. Inaction is the biggest risk. Doing nothing guarantees failure. Waiting guarantees regret. So the real danger isn't trying and failing. It's never trying at all. And here's the good news. You don't need to take massive, perfect steps. You just need to move daily, intentionally, boldly. Want to start a business? Post your idea online. Ask for feedback. Sell one thing. Get one customer. Want to grow your income? Learn a new skill. Pitch your service. Apply for the job. Send the email. Want to change your life? Wake up earlier. Exercise. Plan your day. Show up. Every big win starts with a small act of courage. One decision, one move, one leap. So let's kill the myth of motivation. You don't need to feel like it. You need to decide that you'll do it anyway, even when you're tired, even when it's uncomfortable. Especially then. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. That's what builds empires. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be in motion. Let me share a story. Amara was a young mother with a dream to open an online boutique. She had no funding, no connections, and barely any time. But every night after putting her child to sleep, she worked for 1 hour, just one. She listed a few products. She built her page. She posted on Instagram. And every day she kept going, 1 hour at a time. Fast forward 1 year, and Amura's store was making 5 figures monthly, not because she had the best plan, but because she executed when others were still planning. That's the power of consistent, imperfect action. It beats perfect inaction every single time. So here's your assignment today. Choose one goal you've been putting off. Don't overthink it. Then ask, what's the next small action I can take in the next 24 hours? And do it. And not next week, not when you're ready, now, because every dream has a price, and that price is action. You don't need more time, you need more movement. You don't need a new plan. You need to follow through on the one you already have. You are not waiting for a sign, you are the sign, so move, act, create, start, and watch the world get out of your way. Because money, success, and opportunity don't chase the ones who think. They chase the ones who do. Chapter 6. Money flow is energy flow. Master your state. Money doesn't come to the desperate. It comes to the aligned, to the energetic, to the unstoppable. If you could see money not just as numbers in a bank account, but as energy, your entire relationship with it would change. Because that's what money is. Energy in motion, a reflection, a mirror, a response. Money flows to the people who are in the right energetic state to receive it. Not necessarily to the smartest, the most qualified, or the hardest working. It flows to those who radiate confidence, clarity, gratitude, and purpose. Let's pause for a second. Think about this. Have you ever noticed that when you're feeling good, when you're in flow, excited, inspired, good things just happen? Opportunities appear, people call, ideas click, sales come in. That's not luck, that's energy. You are always transmitting, whether you realize it or not, your internal state. Your thoughts, emotions, beliefs is broadcasting to the world. And the world, including money, responds accordingly. Let me give you an example. Karen was a talented graphic designer. He had skills, a portfolio, and a hunger for success. But every time he reached out to clients, he'd come off desperate. Nervous, scarcity-minded, he'd undercharge, apologize for his prices, doubt himself, and guess what? Clients didn't take him seriously. Then he hit a breaking point. He realized he was operating from fear, not power. So he started working on his energy, not just his skills. Every morning he journaled his wins. He visualized his success. He began affirming his value. He exercised. He meditated. He raised his energetic baseline. And suddenly everything changed. Same talent, same portfolio, but a new version of Karen, a higher vibe version, started showing up. Confident, grounded, unshakable, and guess what? Clients felt it. Bookings increased. Prices doubled, income flowed, because money responds to energy, especially the energy of certainty. Let me say it again, certainty is magnetic. When you walk into a room with belief in your body, people trust you, even if they don't know why. When you speak with conviction, people listen, even if your words are simple. And when you approach life with gratitude, abundance, and clarity, money moves toward you. Now, let's talk about the opposite. Desperation. Nothing repels money faster than desperation. Why? Because desperation screams lack. It pushes energy away. It says, I don't have enough, and I need this now. That kind of energy repels clients, closes doors, and clouds your thinking. If you've ever chased money from a place of panic, you know exactly what I mean. It doesn't work. You can't beg your way into abundance. You have to align into it. So how do you shift your energy? You master your state. You become aware of how you feel and intentionally shift it, not once, but daily. Here's how. Start with gratitude. Gratitude is the highest vibrational frequency. It tells the universe, I already have enough. And when you feel abundant, you attract more abundance. Move your body. Energy is stored in the body. If you're stuck mentally, you're probably stuck physically too. Get outside, stretch, dance, walk. Change your state, change your flow, speak with power. Your words are spells. Stop saying, I can't afford it, or it's too hard. Start saying, I'm finding a way. or money is on its way to me now. Train your mind to believe in overflow. Visualize success. Close your eyes and see the life you want. Feel it, hear it. Imagine the email notification of the sale, the check in your hand, the client saying yes. When you feel it emotionally, you draw it in energetically. Surround yourself with high-energy people. Energy is contagious. Hang around people who inspire you, challenge you, and lift your spirit. Protect your vibe like your life depends on it, because your wealth might. Now, don't confuse this with toxic positivity. This isn't about faking joy or ignoring problems. It's about choosing to own your frequency even in the face of challenges. Think of your energy like a thermostat. You don't wait for the room to heat up. You set the temperature, you decide your state, and as you do, the world adjusts. Let me tell you about one more person, Priya. Priya had been trying to land funding for her wellness startup for almost a year. Rejections after rejections. She was drained, stressed, anxious. Then a mentor asked her, "Are you pitching from fear or from belief?" That hit hard. She took a week off, not to work on her pitch deck, but to work on her energy. She journaled. She meditated, she remembered her mission, she fell back in love with her why, and when she walked into her next meeting, something had changed. Her pitch was the same, but her presence was different. Radiant, grounded, bold, she got the funding. Why? Because she finally stopped chasing and started aligning. That's your invitation too. You don't need to force success. You need to tune into it. You don't need to beg for money. You need to rise to the frequency where money already lives. Money is energy, and so are you. Master your state, protect your peace, elevate your thoughts, and watch the floodgates open. Chapter 7. Environment is everything. Designed for wealth. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your environment. Fix your surroundings, and your success will follow. Let this truth land. Your environment shapes your outcomes more than your willpower ever will. You can have the best goals in the world. You can have discipline, motivation, talent. But if you live in a space, physically, mentally, and socially, that constantly drains you, distracts you, or keeps you small, you will struggle. It's not a lack of potential that keeps people stuck. It's a toxic or misaligned environment. What is your environment? It's not just your room or office. It's your daily ecosystem, your habits, your routines, the people you talk to, the noise you consume, the energy you're surrounded by. It's the default setting of your life, and unless you deliberately change it, it will control you. Let me tell you a story. Maya was a brilliant writer, sharp, visionary, full of ideas, but she wasn't producing. She couldn't finish a book. She'd start and stop. Her energy was scattered. She was stuck. One day, her coach asked her a simple question, "Where do you write?" She laughed, "Usually in my bed, sometimes on the couch, occasionally at a noisy cafe." That was the problem. Maya's environment didn't support her success, it sabotaged it. So she made a shift. She cleared out a corner of her room, added a desk, a plant, soft lighting, and a big sign that read "Author at Work." That space became sacred. No distractions, no scrolling, just flow. Guess what? She finished her first manuscript in 6 weeks. All because she didn't just change her mind, she changed her environment. This is a universal principle. We adapt to the space we're in. If your space is messy, your mind will feel chaotic. If your space is inspiring, your thoughts will rise, and it goes beyond your physical room. Let's talk about the people around you. Are the people in your life pulling you forward or holding you back? Do they celebrate your growth, or do they mock it? Do they inspire you to level up, or guilt you for trying? You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, not just in money, but in energy, belief, and standards. So if you're surrounded by people who always complain about money, guess what? You'll begin to adopt that frequency. If you're around people who talk about ideas, strategy, growth, you'll naturally stretch. Here's something few talk about. Success is often environmental. If you're trying to build wealth, but every day you hear things like, "People like us don't make money," "Money is evil," "You're getting greedy," "Why don't you just play it safe?" then even your best ideas will feel like threats. Your subconscious will self-sabotage because it doesn't want to risk belonging. That's why changing your environment is not optional. It's essential. Let me break it down into 3 core environments that you must optimize for wealth. 1. Your physical space. Look around. Is your room, office, or workspace inspiring action or delaying it? Declutter. A clear space creates a clear mind. Design with intention. Add visuals of your goals. Keep your tools handy. Set boundaries. Create zones. Where you work, you work. Where you rest, you rest. Your space should make it easy to do what matters and hard to do what doesn't. 2. Your social circle. Audit your circle. Who are you letting influence your thoughts? Cut or distance from constant complainers, gossipers, and critics. Seek mentors, peers, and friends who elevate your energy. Join masterminds, communities, and groups aligned with your goals. It's not about arrogance, it's about alignment. 3. Your digital environment. Your phone is a 24/7 portal of influence. So ask yourself, is your feed filled with noise or knowledge? Are you consuming creators who make you feel empowered or insecure? Are your apps helping you grow or just distracting you from greatness? Curate your content. Unfollow with courage. Your scroll shapes your soul. Let me give you one more story. Ravi was stuck in a 9 to 5 he hated. Every night, he'd come home, tired, open Netflix, scroll social media, fall asleep, then repeat. He dreamed of launching a coaching business, but never had the time. One night, he did something radical. He deleted all social apps, cleared his desk, bought a whiteboard. He wrote at the top, "Clients are coming." Every night, instead of scrolling, he created. He built a landing page, wrote emails, learned marketing. And within 90 days, he got his first paying client. 6 months later, he quit his job. Not because he suddenly became more talented, because he designed an environment that made success inevitable. So here's your assignment. Take 30 minutes today to audit your environment. What is around you that's lowering your energy, your standards, or your ambition? What needs to go? What needs to change? What can you add that will pull you forward? You don't have to burn your life down. Start small, but start intentionally, because when you change your environment, you change your behavior. And when you change your behavior consistently, you change your results. Environment isn't just a background factor. It's the soil in which your life is planted. So upgrade the soil, nourish your roots, protect your energy, and watch your wealth bloom. Chapter 8. The money identity. Become the person who attracts wealth. You'll never earn more than the identity you're tied to. Shift who you are, and money will follow. Let's talk about identity, not your name, not your job title. I'm talking about the deep, unconscious story you tell yourself about who you are, especially when it comes to money. Because here's the truth no one teaches us in school. Your income is a reflection of your identity. Not your potential, not your worth, not your talent, your identity. You will never outperform your self-image. You might win the lottery, close a big sale, or get lucky once or twice. But if deep down you see yourself as someone who always struggles, who never has enough, who's just not good with money, then you'll find a way to lose what you gain. That's not because you're broken. It's because you're loyal to the version of yourself you've been conditioned to believe in. Let me tell you about Annika. She grew up in a family where money was always tight. Her parents worked hard, but the phrase "we can't afford" that echoed in her home like a mantra. Even when she started earning decent money in her late 20s, she kept sabotaging herself. She'd undercharge her clients, avoid looking at her accounts, delay investing. Why? Because deep down, she didn't believe she deserved wealth. She still saw herself as that little girl who had to stretch every dollar. Until one day, during a coaching session, she was asked a life-changing question. Who do you believe you are when it comes to money? She paused. Tears welled up. I'm just someone who never gets ahead. That story had been running her life for decades, and in that moment, she made a decision to rewrite it. Not by wishing, not by hoping, but by becoming someone new. She declared, I am a powerful woman who creates and manages wealth with clarity, confidence, and joy. And every day after that, she acted from that identity. She raised her prices. She read books on investing. She hired a money coach. She checked her accounts with pride, and everything changed. Same world, same economy, same skills, but a new Annika. One who didn't just want money, but believed she was the kind of person who attracted, held, and grew it. Because here's the secret: your thoughts create your identity. Your identity drives your actions, and your actions determine your results. If you keep trying to change your bank balance without changing who you believe you are, it's like putting a fresh coat of paint on a crumbling wall. It won't hold, so let me ask you directly, what is your current money identity? Do you see yourself as someone who always just gets by, is bad with finances, is not the type who gets rich, must hustle endlessly to earn anything? Or do you see yourself as someone who is a money magnet, makes smart financial decisions, deserves and attracts overflow with ease, creates income through value, alignment, and service? Your beliefs form your reality. If you believe you're the kind of person who never gets ahead, you'll subconsciously reject wealth, delay action, and settle for less. But if you believe you're a high-value, abundant, empowered person, your decisions will align with that identity. You'll speak differently, show up differently, charge differently, think differently. Identity always wins, so how do you shift it? Here's a process you can start today. 1. Identify the old story, write it out. Get brutally honest. What have you been telling yourself about money and who you are? Examples: I don't come from money, so I'll never have it. I'm just not smart enough for financial success. If I make too much, people will judge me. Making money means sacrificing happiness. 2. Choose the new identity now. Write the opposite. Bold, empowering, truthful. Examples: I am a conscious creator of wealth. I attract money by being my authentic self. I am financially wise, capable, and expanding daily. Abundance is my natural state. Repeat this new identity daily. Out loud, in the mirror, in your journal. You're not faking it. You're installing it. 3. Act from the new identity. Ask yourself every morning, what would a wealthy, confident, abundant version of me do today? Would they avoid emails? No. Would they delay decisions? No. Would they shrink their prices? Absolutely not. They would move with clarity. They would protect their time. They would take bold action. Be that person before the evidence shows up. That's how the evidence is created. Let me leave you with a story. Dev, a struggling freelancer, made this his mantra. I am already successful. I just haven't collected all the money yet. He stopped waiting for success to feel real. He started embodying it. He upgraded his wardrobe, not for show, but to feel empowered. He started speaking with more confidence on calls. He stopped apologizing for his prices. And within 90 days, his monthly income tripled. Because he finally stepped into the identity of someone who expected success, not hoped for it. That's your job now, not to chase money, but to become the version of you that money is already looking for. You don't have to become someone else. You just have to remove the layers of limitation that were never yours to begin with. Step into your true identity. Declare who you are. Walk like it. Talk like it. Think like it. Because when you become the person who attracts wealth, wealth has no choice but to follow. Chapter 9. Value exchange. Serve and earn with purpose. Money doesn't come from chasing. It comes from serving. Solve a problem, shift a life, and the world will pay you back in full. Let's get something straight. Money is not the enemy. Money is an exchange of value. It's not about greed. It's about impact. The moment you understand this, your relationship with money begins to transform. Money doesn't just flow to hard workers. It flows to value creators, people who solve problems, elevate lives, and provide real meaning in what they do. The question is not, how do I make more money? The real question is, how can I serve more deeply? How can I solve a problem that matters? Think of money as thank you notes. Every dollar someone gives you is them saying, thank you for making my life better. Thank you for solving this pain point. Thank you for delivering this experience. If you want to receive more, your focus must shift from getting to giving. From taking to transforming, let me tell you about Raj. He was working a regular job, bored and underpaid. He wanted to earn more, but his mindset was stuck in scarcity. No one's hiring. The market is saturated. I'm not lucky. One day, he had a powerful realization. While walking through a busy neighborhood, he noticed how frustrated people were waiting in long lines outside food stalls. There were families, students, working professionals, hungry, tired, and wasting precious time. Raj thought, what if I could bring these meals directly to them? Quick, affordable, and fresh. He launched a small food delivery service, starting with just 3 vendors. He delivered meals himself using a borrowed bicycle. No app, no fancy website. Just hustle, heart, and a solution to a problem. People were grateful. Vendors were happy. Word spread. Within 6 months, he scaled. Within a year, he was managing a team and operating in 3 neighborhoods. Did he win because he worked harder? Not necessarily. He won because he focused on value. He found a pain and became the solution. That's the blueprint. If you want more money, look for a bigger problem, or solve a small one for more people. But here's the trap most fall into. They get stuck in the me mindset. How do I get rich? How do I go viral? How do I close more sales? That energy repels success, because wealth doesn't respond to neediness. It responds to service, to contribution, to clarity of purpose. You must step into the mindset of purpose-driven profit. This isn't about martyrdom. It's not about giving everything for free. It's about understanding the divine connection between service and success. Let me ask you this. What problem are you solving? Whose life are you improving? What pain are you easing? Joy are you bringing? Clarity are you delivering? Your product or service, whether it's coaching, teaching, selling clothes, writing, coding, healing, is a bridge between someone's current struggle and their desired outcome. You are not in the business of products. You are in the business of transformation. When you understand this, you'll never feel guilty charging again, because your price is not for your time. It's for the value you provide. Now let's talk about alignment. The most powerful form of value exchange happens when you love what you do, you're good at it, others need it, and they're willing to pay for it. This is the sweet spot. Purpose meets prosperity. But to get there, you must stop hiding. Too many people have gold inside them, skills, ideas, wisdom, but they're silent. Why? Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of charging. Listen, staying silent helps no one, not you, not the people you're meant to serve. If you don't share your gift, someone out there stays stuck in their problem. You owe it to the world to show up fully, and yes, be well paid for it. Because when good people make good money, they do great things. They invest in others, they uplift communities, they create jobs, they heal, educate, and innovate. Money in the hands of conscious, service-driven people is a force for good, but you must be willing to receive. To say, I create value, I solve real problems, and I am worthy of receiving abundance in return. So how do you raise your value? Here are 3 practical ways. 1. Listen more deeply. Talk to your audience. Understand their pain. Survey. Ask questions. People will tell you what they need if you just listen. 2. Improve relentlessly. Sharpen your craft. Study the best in your field. Add skills. Refine your message. When your value goes up, so does your income. 3. Communicate clearly. People don't pay for what they don't understand. Clarify what you offer and who it's for. Make the value obvious and the results tangible. One last story. Tasha was a yoga teacher, heart-centered, gifted, but struggling to make ends meet. She realized she wasn't clear about the problem she solved. She started refining her offer. Instead of just teaching yoga, she positioned herself as helping busy moms reduce anxiety, sleep better, and reclaim their energy. That one shift changed everything. Her classes filled up. She started charging premium rates. She launched an online course. Because she moved from generic service to specific value, you can do the same. Whether you're an entrepreneur, an artist, a teacher, a freelancer, the question is always, what's the transformation I offer? And how can I do it better, deeper, and more boldly? That's how you unlock unstoppable income. Money is not a reward for effort. It's a reflection of impact. So serve with excellence, solve with love. Show up with clarity and watch the floodgates open. Chapter 10. The Wealth Habits Daily Actions That Multiply Your Money. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. This is it. The final chapter, but make no mistake, this is where the real magic begins, because while mindset, vision, and identity are the foundation, habits are the bricks, daily choices, repeated actions, invisible routines. These are what build or destroy your wealth. Let's get brutally honest. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always gotten. Your financial reality right now is not based on luck, background, or talent. It's a mirror of your daily decisions, how you think, act, spend, save, and show up. Wealth is not a one-time event. It's a lifestyle, and that lifestyle is created through discipline, consistency, and conscious habits. Let me tell you about Nina. She wasn't a financial expert, no fancy degree, no big inheritance, just a regular woman with a dream to be debt-free and live a life of freedom. But every time she tried to get ahead, something would pull her back. Overspending, unexpected bills, emotional purchases. She kept looking for the big breakthrough, the magic bullet, until one day she realized it's not about one big move. It's about what I do every day. So she made a commitment, not to overhaul her life overnight, but to build 5 non-negotiable wealth habits. They were simple: track every dollar, review her financial goals every morning, set a daily income target in her business. Read for 10 minutes about money and investing. Speak 1 financial affirmation out loud. That was it. Small things, daily, unshakable. Fast forward 2 years. Nina had paid off $40,000 in debt, saved her first $100K, and built a thriving consulting business. And not because she got lucky, because she got habitual. So let me ask you this. What are your current habits saying about your financial future? Do you wake up and check social media or check your goals? Do you invest time in learning new skills? Or in distractions, do you track your spending? Or avoid your bank balance out of fear? Do you set financial intentions daily? Or just hope something changes? Hope is not a wealth strategy. Habits are. Here are the 5 foundational wealth habits I urge you to implement starting today. They may seem small, but their power is exponential. 1. Money mindset mornings. Every morning, before the world invades your mind, take 5 minutes to align your thoughts with wealth. Say affirmations like, "Money flows to me easily and consistently. I am open to receiving abundance. I am financially wise, powerful, and prepared." Write down your financial goals again and again, because repetition creates belief. Belief shapes identity, and identity drives action. 2. Track every dollar. Wealthy people know where their money goes. Not because they're obsessed, but because they are intentional. Start tracking your income and expenses daily or weekly. Use a spreadsheet, a journal, or an app. Just track, because what gets measured gets managed. The moment you start paying attention, you take back control. 3. Daily income activity. If you're in business or freelancing, ask yourself every morning, what can I do today to generate income? This might mean sending a proposal, following up with a client, creating a new offer, showing up online with value. No day should pass without you planting at least 1 income seed. If you work a job, it might mean upskilling, building a side income, asking for that raise, working on that promotion plan. Small actions compound, and money respects momentum. 4. Learn something financial every day, just 10 minutes. That's all it takes to rewire your brain. Read a chapter of a money book, watch a YouTube video on investing, listen to a podcast about passive income, study people who are financially free. The more you understand money, the less you'll fear it, and the more confidently you'll attract it. Knowledge truly is wealth. 5. Automate wealth. Set up systems that work even when you're not looking. Automate a portion of your income to savings. Schedule automatic debt repayments. Create a calendar reminder to review finances monthly. Remove emotion from the equation. Let systems do the heavy lifting. Wealth is not about willpower, it's about structure. But most importantly, understand this: you don't need to be perfect. You will miss days. You will feel tired. Life will happen. But what separates those who rise from those who remain stuck is that the committed keep coming back, over and over again, even after they fall, even when it's boring. Even when no one's watching. Consistency builds legacy. There's no overnight success here, only compounded effort. Like drops of water that carve mountains over time, your small daily actions will reshape your financial future. Let's close this chapter with a final reminder. You are powerful, you are capable, you are not broken. You are just one decision away from transforming your money story forever. Decide who you want to become. Create the habits that match that version of you. And then, day by day, step into it with courage, clarity, and conviction. Because once your habits change, everything changes.